Yes, indeed. Welcoming you to episode 240 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. We got some headlines for you. We'll touch on Phillip Rivers' first start back in the league coming out of retirement. We'll touch on Joe Burrow and the benching of Tua Tagovailoa from the Miami Dolphins. In the home team report, we discuss a Commanders win over the New York Giants, a Baltimore Ravens shutout victory over the Cincinnati Bengals, and we mourn the Kansas City Chiefs' loss to the Los Angeles Chargers, eliminating them from playoff contention. All that plus the best segment on this Good to Average podcast, the Kirby on Sports PickEm. All that and more comes your way next, episode 240 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Had to pop out the shades for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 240. I'm just feeling
Ladies and gentlemen, he's the greatest picker of all time. The three-time Pick EMS champion. Celebrating with each and every one of you tonight. Champion for over 1,000 days. Please welcome the one, the only, the Swiss Army knife, Carlos Martinez.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
You gimmick stealing mother trucker! You don't get to do sunglasses on this show. I do sunglasses on this show. Don't steal my gimmick.
I was not saying I'm a pick'em champion.
Gimmick stealing. You steal takes, you steal gimmicks, you steal catchphrases. Kirby, the swagger jacker. That is your new nick. It's not cream cheese. It's swagger jacking Kirby.
I mean, I just wanted to rock the shades. I didn't mean to jab at you on that, Carlos.
Let's just bring Dan in. Hey, Dan.
I was trying to see if I could get sunglasses, but yeah, it didn't happen in time. But
No, I had to rock the new Prada shades I got.
that intro confused the hell out of me, boys. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm like, what is going on?
I don't know what was going on there. Next thing you know, he's putting on sunglasses, acting like he's the Swiss Army knife.
Hey, what are we
here.
doing?
What are we doing here?
I ain't saying I'm the Swiss Army knife. I just wanted to rock out with some shades. No jab on you, Carlos.
No.
That is a jab on him.
We have our lanes.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, man.
Well, I just wanted to look fresh to death. But anyways, the whole crew is with me.
To do than just putting on a fake pair of Prada shades.
Now these are legit, Carlos.
Sure.
Legit Walmart. Let's freaking go, man.
Nah, Prada, baby. But anyways, welcome in episode 240 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Dan, Carlos, I'm Josh. A huge thanks to all of our sponsors: Frederick County Parks and Recreation, PM Plus Reserves, Shenandoah Primitives, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, Barrett, Pest and Termite Services, Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, Shenandoah Music, Icon Media, On the Road Driving School, New Look Landscaping, The Cider House, and Barry Pearson Equipment Share Advanced Solutions, and Den Sleep Energy, the official energy drink sponsor of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Use promo code KOS podcast for 12% off your order every single time. let's get it started, gentlemen. We got some headlines to touch
before we get
into.
started. Take them off.
Nah, that ain't gonna happen.
Take
I
them
look
off.
fresh.
Kirby, take them off.
I look
Take
too
'em off.
fresh.
You
2
don't.
out of 3. 2 out of 3. Democracy wins. Take them off.
I look too fresh. Don't I?
No.
Nope.
You really don't.
So let me ask you this.
Let me ask you this. Take them off.
Let me
tell you this.
Take
No.
them off.
Carlos, let me ask you this, then you can tell me that, okay?
Kirby, take them off.
I'm just asking one simple thing, and that's it. If I become a pick'em champion, do I?
No, because you'll never be a Pick'em's champion.
No. And for this reason, he's out. Yes.
Oh my.
Nope. No.
Oh,
You thought you had something there, Kirby. You really
He
did.
thought he was cooking, but what he doesn't realize is I'm almost 10 steps ahead, baby. All right, let's get the show on the road.
Yeah, we got some headlines to dive into. I know my setup's a little bit different, so I'm still producing and bringing the best content that I can.
You're producing. You're producing.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
Right.
the background
Right.
is different, so don't worry. I'm still here.
Right.
So, anyways, we got some headlines to dive into, boys.
God, this is the roughest opening we've had.
It doesn't even make sense, to be honest.
Like, I had a whole Christmas thing I was gonna hit, and then he throws a curveball at me trying to steal my gimmick with the sunglasses.
Yeah.
Like,
he can't let you have nice things, Carlos. You know that. He's the Grinch.
He's just a swagger jacker, man.
Swagger jacker.
He can't create his own identity here.
So
Partially
let's
true.
get into it, boys. Okay. I sincerely apologize for derailing episode 240 of the Kirby on
This
Sports
would be the first time.
podcast. No intentions whatsoever of hurting Carlos. I know his storied legacy.
Whoa. Let's not get this twisted. Roll it back. You are not hurting me by stealing my gimmick. You are just dullifying my gimmick. My gimmick then gets duller because cream cheese is going to cream cheese my gimmick.
That's true. That is very true.
All right, let's get into it. Most recently, Tua benched by Mike McDaniel for Quinn Ewers. Obviously, the Dolphins are out of playoff contention, but I think this is a move you have to make with just the poor quarterback play. And Mike McDaniel mentioned leaving everything out on the table. So you look at a move like this, and I mean, there's not much to play for. Give the young man some reps, some experience, and see what you can do with him potentially, because you don't really know how much longer Tua might have, or if another team might be calling for him. Any of those circumstances,
Okay.
I don't know. But
That's a stretch.
Okay, yeah. Another team will be calling for Tua Tagovailoa and that god awful contract. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, but I didn't think so. But no matter the situation, Quinn Ewers is the starter for Miami going forward. What are your thoughts on this, gentlemen?
Well, it's like you said, you have to see what you got. I mean, we know first and foremost Tua's history of concussions. He's had several, 3 or 4 probably in his NFL career. And
No, way more than that.
Way more than that, probably. Three or four that are documented that were really bad, but probably some other small ones. So that just from a health standpoint, right? Like you want to make sure you're planning for the future in that respect. And then, yeah, just like you said, his performance has been terrible throughout most of the season. I mean, the Dolphins did have a couple of games in a row, maybe 3 or 4 games where he actually wasn't terrible. But for the most part this season, he has... They don't call him Tua turn of the ball over for nothing. Like he's got that nickname for a reason. He turns the ball over a lot. That's been a big problem for him. So this feels to me like a move that should have come like 4 or 5 weeks ago. But I get what Mike McDaniel's doing in this situation. Like you said, Kirby, you want to see what you got, and I think it makes sense going into next season to kind of weigh all your options. Maybe you play every quarterback you have because they have a third quarterback, I believe. Well, maybe not. I thought they did, but I have to check. But yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense. You want to see what you have going into next season, plan for the future, because you can't plan for Tua to be even healthy all of next season necessarily, given his history and things like that. So I think it makes sense. I think it's kind of too little too late. I think also Mike McDaniel kind of knows, like for now, his job is secure, at least in my mind.
I don't know about that. I don't think he thinks his job is secure at all. I think he's definitely on the hot seat.
I mean, I agree with you, but I think to me this kind of signals that maybe.
Nah, to me, this reeks of desperation. He's trying to get something going with this team to try to convince the top brass that like he's still the guy for the job. That this has been a disaster of a season for him. It's been a disastrous couple years for him.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I don't think he comes back next year. I don't think he's safe at all.
I mean, my thought is like, I don't know, maybe like I kind of think that maybe he's had a discussion with the front office and like they've assured him that they're going to keep him through next year. I don't know.
I don't think so.
But I don't know. It's to me, it's just really odd timing, right? Like the timing.
Well, I just think like there's only 3 games left. There's nothing left for them to play for. This is a lost season. I think he's just trying to throw spaghetti at the wall and hoping that it sticks.
It's fair. It's a fair point.
Yeah, I agree with Carlos. I don't think his job's safe at all. To be honest, I'm going to be very surprised if he's retained after the end of the season.
I think he's gone on Black Monday.
I think so too.
And then watch, Dan's going to be correct.
I mean, it's the Dolphins, right? So that's the thing. Like, they don't make good decisions. So I don't know. It's between them and the Jets. Like,
I just think it's clear that he has lost the locker room, and I think
I agree with
the reason why he is. I mean, they released who was it? Matthew Judon. Also today, they obviously are benching Tua. I mean, they can't. They went and practiced in like cold weather this week, and they still came out and didn't do anything in Pittsburgh. They don't know how to play in cold weather. I don't know if that's necessarily a coaching thing or it's just, I don't know what it is, but you just see it whenever these guys have to leave the comforts of Miami.
It's crazy.
And go out to anywhere that's below 45 degrees. Like Tua just completely collapses. He can't play quarterback in that type of weather.
Right.
And they just don't have any oomph to them. And I know that he was a hot commodity when he was, first hired on. He had a couple good seasons, but the last 2 seasons have been terrible.
Yeah, they've gone backwards. And I think his gimmick too, right? Like people have grown tired of his gimmick as being the sort of funny guy. Technically, I think people are kind of tired of that shtick as well. So I think that you lose the locker room with that as well, especially when you're losing. If you're winning, people will like kind of get used to it, Just like they would get used to Bill Belichick's being the opposite way. But I guess that's a whole different story. But you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So pretty interesting situation. We'll see how that unfolds. Obviously, with
I think Miami's they're definitely in a tough spot here because they're benching Tua, but they can't really get rid of him because you said maybe a team will call for him. And I don't think any team's going to call for him just
going to want that contract.
That contract is not worth picking up. This is another case of Miami paid him way too early before they actually knew what they had. But because of the quarterback, supply and demand of good quarterbacking, they thought they had seen enough of him to where they're like, you know what, he warrants, a big contract. But in reality, he didn't. I mean, Tua hasn't really done anything since becoming, an NFL quarterback. He hasn't won a playoff game. He can't play in cold weather. It's like, what does he really offer? He struggles to stay healthy. To me, it's just they're definitely in a pickle here. They definitely made a mistake by signing Tua, but now they can't cut him. They can't trade him. They're not going to find anybody to trade him with.
Right.
They're stuck. They're stuck with him, but at the same time, he's unplayable this season. So I think it's the right move. Sit him down. I don't know how great Quinn Ewers is going to be. He didn't impress me too much when he was in college.
Same here.
He did a lot in college, but didn't really impress me, especially his last season at Texas.
Right.
So yeah, they're in a tough spot right now, but there's nothing they can really do.
And there's could be no end in sight. Like, we don't really know what the quarterback draft class is going to look like for next year, and just like preliminary, like just looking like at who could be in the draft. It's not a great class. This year.
Not the 2026 draft. Maybe not so much. I don't think they'll be looking for a quarterback at all. I think they want to see what they have with Quinn Ewers before they make any decisions about how they move on from Tua. I think they're definitely going to move on from Tua.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they want to see what they have with Quinn Ewers, and that'll determine what they do in 2027 more so than 2026.
Yeah, it's a good point too.
So let's shift to another quarterback, Joe Burrow, making some comments. I didn't really look too far into this, but
Mr. Speculation over here did it.
Yeah.
Mr. Speculation himself over here didn't look into these quotes.
No, I did not. I can't really say much about it. I know you told me a little bit about it, Carlos, but sounds like there might be some uncertainty whether he comes back next year.
Well, I don't necessarily know if there's any uncertainty of whether he comes back next year. I think it's just more so whether he wants to even like stay in Cincinnati for the long term. I think he does come back next year, but if next year continues, for one, they got to get rid of Zach Taylor. I think, I mean, you had the one Super Bowl run, the AFC Championship run, but you haven't done anything since. You've missed the playoffs ever since then.
Mm-hmm.
The team doesn't look good. This ownership is cheap. I mean, for God's sake, they barely even like shoveled out the snow off the seats at the stadium. Like
that's an
terrible.
NFL violation, actually.
Well, according to the NFL, they did everything correctly. They did the high priority areas, but the seats were still covered and all that stuff. It's a ridiculous thing.
They covered the club level, and then everything else was still snowed in.
Right?
Yeah.
They didn't care about
you peasants in the upper level just clear your own seats.
But yeah, I mean, you got cheap ownership, terrible offensive line. Yeah, he's got the weapons in T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, but they have no defense. They're not willing to spend more money. If I'm Joe Burrow, I'm also thinking, dude, like, I'm wasting the prime of my career here. Like, and I'm just going to keep getting hurt because I'm going to keep getting hit.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be fun. So why stay? Why not go try to find another team at some point? Whether it's, he requests a trade or he just plays out his contract and then the next time he just goes into free agency. Either way, I don't think Joe Burrow finishes his career as a Bengal. I think he will eventually leave and he will go somewhere else.
Yeah, I said this to my brother on Sunday. He to me, he's like a Matt Stafford type of quarterback where, we know the history.
Good comp.
Yeah. He, struggled for years and years with the Lions. He got beat up a lot, didn't have a good offensive line. The Lions never really had a great defense for a lot of those years. So it was really just him carrying that team. And I kind of see Joe Burrow in a similar situation. I think in Cincinnati, they've definitely given him weapons. There's no doubt about that. But it has to be a whole team mentality. You got to at least have a decent defense, like a middle-of-the-road defense in the NFL, especially if you're going to win in the playoffs, for sure. And they haven't done that. They haven't given Joe Burrow that. Now, something against him, obviously, is he's not been healthy for a huge portion of his career either. So, obviously, those not necessarily his fault technically, but I mean, the best ability is availability. So he's missed a ton of games. So that's kind of been his biggest downfall, I think. But it's an interesting situation. I'd like to see how it. I can't wait to see how it pans out. Obviously, and I think I could see him having a Matt Stafford type of career where he goes to his second team and is able to win a Super Bowl or at least become a annual playoff contender, which the Bengals have not been, like Carlos mentioned, since their playoff run, 4 years ago now. So, yeah, it's interesting to me for sure. My thought is like, what team's out there right now that we think needs a quarterback that he could plug right into and make immediately good? I don't know.
Any team?
Well,
team?
the Jets.
He would definitely elevate the Jets.
I agree, but like they're not going to become a Super Bowl contender necessarily.
No, but
Yeah.
But he would elevate every team. I agree with you.
He would elevate every team, but
Yeah.
it'd be so. I guess what I'm saying is that like it's the same thing with Matthew Stafford, right? Like Matthew Stafford got traded into the perfect situation.
They were already decent.
They banked on him. Like basically they were like, look, we're going all in because we're going to get Matthew Stafford.
Right.
And we want to get him. And his first year he wins the Super Bowl, and it looks like they're primed to go on another run this year.
Yeah.
It would kind of be the same case for Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow wouldn't leave Cincinnati unless he knows it's going to a place that is committed to investing into his success. So maybe somewhere, I don't know. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know what team it would be. That's like prime.
That's what I mean. I was trying to think of a team comparable to the
Indianapolis.
Maybe.
But
could be a good
Indy doesn't
situation
have
for
like
him
the
to go to.
capital to trade for him.
No. Yeah, that's another.
I mean the storybook trade, or for him to go, is to do the same thing he did in college. He starts out at Ohio State, he goes to LSU.
Yeah.
Starts out in Cincinnati, goes back to the Saints, goes back to where he was beloved in New Orleans or Louisiana, basically.
Yeah.
But
that's
the
interesting.
Saints aren't really like primed like that.
No, they're not. They're not a quarterback away from.
Maybe Seattle. Seattle would be a good fit for him. I don't know. That's a great question.
Pittsburgh, if
Where would
Aaron
Joe
Rodgers-
Burrow go?
If Aaron Rodgers retires, Pittsburgh. I don't know.
And I couldn't see him going.
That'd be weird. Don't get me wrong.
I don't think he would consider Pittsburgh. I don't think Pittsburgh's like tailor made for him to like for a Super Bowl run. Like
I was
what
just
he
thinking of
wants.
a team that he could just plug in and elevate like to that level.
Yeah, like that's the
'Cause
thing is a lot of these
Pittsburgh's
Super
not
Bowl
bad,
made
roster
teams
construction-wise.
already have
Yeah.
quarterbacks.
Exactly, and they have him locked up for a while.
So I have
Contract-wise.
no idea where he would go.
Yeah, I had to think on that one, but there is no team like the Rams that literally is a quarterback away, or one big player away from reaching that level. So yeah, that was my only like question I had is like, could we think of a team? But I can't really.
Yeah,
It's weird.
I can't think of a team, but I'm pretty sure a team would emerge somewhere.
My thing is too, like with all of his injuries, is he maybe saying like hinting that not a retirement, but like, because if he retired, that would be insane. Because he's only been in the league for 5 years.
I mean, Andrew Luck did it.
Yeah,
It's not out of the question, but I don't think. I think it's more so. Yeah, he's starting to get a little demoralized because he's not seeing the investment from the owners.
yeah,
He's putting in obviously his body on the line. They're not. They're refusing to pay people. I mean, gosh, they had that whole entire spat with that rookie in the offseason about the language in his contract because I can't remember anymore what it was. It was some clause that they added in that's not normal for rookie contracts. And they were just refusing to budge until finally the public pressure got too much and they finally budged. I mean, these owners are cheap. And
didn't
like
they have drama with Hendrickson as well? Wasn't there something?
Yeah, well, they want to franchise tag him. He doesn't want to be franchise tag. He wants an actual deal. He's like, dude, I'm tired of playing on these franchise tags. I want security. They don't want to give it to him. So on this one, he said, okay, I will do it, but you guys cannot franchise tag me anymore from here on out. Next year, I will become a free agent.
Yeah, it's a good move.
So he will be a free agent next year.
But
yeah, they're cheap. They're terrible. And like, they just are refusing to invest the way that Joe Burrow needs them to invest.
Right.
And I can see why that's starting to get frustrating for him.
Here's my thing. If you continue down that path of how you're running this football team, you're not going to get to be successful because you have to invest in key pieces in your football team in order to be successful, especially the offensive line. Defensive line, I mean, at any level this is coming from my high school sports coverage. The battle is won in the trenches, the offensive and defensive line. If you can sustain success at both of those positions, you're going to be in good shape. But if you can't invest in that at the pro level, then you're just not going to be successful. That's plain and simple. And that's any position on the football field.
Yeah, if you're going to be an elite team, you have to have an elite line. It's just how it goes. Or at least a line that people don't notice, right? Because when they start noticing is when you have issues. So, and the Bengals, we've talked about it over and over. Since they drafted Joe Burrow, have had that issue. A revolving door of offensive linemen. They haven't been able to nail anyone down who's number one, stayed healthy, because they've had issues of health in the offensive line. But and also just general bad play. And that's been a big part of their problem. And a big reason also why Joe Burrow's health has been so not, out of it the last, 3 or 4 years. So something's got to give for sure. Something's got to change there.
Yeah, I agree there. So moving on, let's talk about Phillip Rivers. He started against the Seahawks for the Indianapolis Colts. That was actually a pretty exciting game. I tuned in and watched.
It was a defensive
exciting, I would not say.
An offensive struggle, I'd say.
I mean, you kick a 60
entertaining, yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. Entertaining.
Intriguing, I could work with. Exciting. Nah.
I mean, the Colts kicker kicking a 60-yard field goal to take the lead.
That's not anything nowadays, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not impressed by 60-yard kicks. Everybody's making 60-yard kicks nowadays. This isn't like 2010 where a 54-yarder was impressive.
See, I disagree. I love the long kicks. I appreciate every single one.
But what do we think of Phillip Rivers? I definitely thought age was a factor in some of the things he did, but I mean, throwing the ball, he was able to do some things that a veteran quarterback was able to do. Do I think he was impressive out of this world? Like, oh, he's back? No, but I think he was able to get some good things done regardless. It was just very good to see him on the field. And looking into this more, I 100% respect why he came back into the league, because he is covered through the CBA for him and his family under NFL health insurance until 5 years post-retirement. So
okay.
he locked that in good for his family, because the Hall of Fame cycle recycled on him. Like, it started over.
Resets. Yes.
Resets. But after he decides he's done again, retires, 5 years past, you have coverage for your whole family. And we all know how many kids.
So he's making a smart business decision. Yeah.
I would say yes. I would say yes.
I don't know. Sure, whatever. Cool. He gets health insurance. I mean,
for him,
I mean, good for him. Congrats. Like, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. The real reason why he came back is because he saw an opportunity that he could come back. The team is in a good position for him to come back. Now, obviously, they have a tough stretch of games. They lost this one. But I mean, he was serviceable. He was okay. I mean, obviously, he didn't look like the Phillip Rivers of old.
Well,
but
you can expect that, though.
I mean, cool. He was back. Awesome. It's not much else to say, really.
He was fine, and I was worried about when he was getting hit. I'm like, is he going to crumble into dust at the first hit? But luckily, he was able to withstand. Wow, tough crowd here today. Withstand. And a welcome to back to the NFL hit, and he did a good job of hanging.
Did I miss a joke?
Yeah, I said I thought he would crumble into dust at the first hit. So yeah,
my bad. I was like, wait, did I miss something? Because you said,
Kirby was not paying attention, so it's fine.
My
Um,
bad.
you're good. You're good.
Dan. Good one.
But no, I listen. He's pushing 45, almost 50. He's getting
44.
closer to 50.
It's 44.
Yeah, I know, but next year he's closer to 50.
I mean, remember Brady retired at 45, so
Yeah, but Brady also didn't stop for 4 years or what is it? 4 years, 5 years?
5 years because he stopped 2020.
Right.
No, 2020.
Right.
Was it 2020 or 2021? Kirby.
2021, I believe.
21.
Yeah.
21. Never mind. So 4 years.
And also
You had that dad bod rocking, that's for sure.
I was about to say we know what we saw Phillip Rivers, what he looked like. Like he definitely has a dad bod now. So listen, I think it's a compliment to dad bods everywhere to go and show that you can do anything you want to do if you put your mind to it. But yeah, I think you said it, Carlos. He was serviceable. Like he wasn't great. He wasn't jaw-droppingly making crazy plays. He was fine. He delivered some good passes, but you could see too a good amount of rust there. And again, you expect that with a guy who's his age, who's been out of the league for 4 years, who hasn't probably kept up with an NFL diet or NFL exercise regimen, anything like that we've seen. So I'd say all in all, he did pretty well, right? And he should only get better these last 3 games of the season, you would think, given how he played on Sunday. So we'll see how he does. But it is quite a story. And I think obviously if the Colts are somehow able to make the playoffs, I say somehow, but they have a pretty, like Carlos said, they got to win some tough games down the stretch. Phillip Rivers is going to get a huge ton of credit, even though he only played the last 4 games of the season. So, yeah, that's all I got. I think.
Imagine he wins comeback player of the year,
dude. I thought that too. For 4 games, it's kind of nuts.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
So last but not least, moving on from Phillip Rivers, because we do have to move on to the home team report. Just briefly touching on the playoff picture, as we will week in and week out, since we are getting closer and closer to the playoffs. We put it up on screen for you, and we will save this out to anybody on the audio platforms as well. But for those of you tuned in on YouTube, we have a picture of the playoff picture on screen. The 1 seeds in the AFC and NFC, the Denver Broncos after their win over the Green Bay Packers, and the number 1 seed in the NFC, the Los Angeles Rams, after their victory over the Detroit Lions. The matchups as followed: for the AFC, the 7 seed Texans traveling to face the number 2 New England Patriots, the number 2 seed, obviously. The Bills would travel to the number 3 seed Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Los Angeles Chargers would travel to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. On the NFC side, the Packers and the Bears. The Packers would travel to Chicago, that NFC North matchup that is staying consistent, because I believe that was in last week's picture as well. Correct. The 49ers would travel to face the Eagles, and the Seahawks would travel to face the Buccaneers. So that is the playoff picture after week 15. Brief thoughts from any of you?
I don't really have much. I mean, obviously on the NFC side, I think 2 weeks ago when I was, last week. Was I on last week's episode? I was, right?
Yep.
Man,
you were.
My brain is cooked. Yeah, on the NFC side, I think everyone's excited for that, 2 matchups. Obviously, the NFC North matchup, as you mentioned. We've already gotten a great game out of them once. I think there's another great game that's going to come up, as we're going to discuss later on. To play a 3rd time in a season is pretty rare, but that's an exciting game to highlight and could be one of the best games in the wild card round. And I think on the AFC side, to me, whoever ends up the 7th seed, I think obviously they're going to lose, quite frankly. I don't really see anyone being able to go on the road to the 2nd seed and winning that game, quite frankly. I just think it's too weak of a slot. But outside of that, I think the AFC, I got really nothing else to add there. Denver's staying strong at the 1 seed, which is good to see as well. But yeah, I don't have any other thoughts necessarily.
So, are we ready to officially say that Denver is a Super Bowl contender officially? Like,
I mean, you were the only one holding out, I thought, there, Carlos.
that definitely wasn't the only one, considering that they keep playing down to the level of their competition. They keep playing up to the level of their competition.
It's pretty wild.
It made no sense, but I think it's more so if they get the 1 seed, it's 2 games in Denver.
Yep.
Bo Nix seems to do a lot better at home.
He does play, a lot better.
They could do it. What team do you see on this list that is going to go to Denver and beat them? There's only 2
Buffalo.
that I can see.
Buffalo might be the only one, just given the
I
experience.
see Buffalo, and I think the Patriots could do it too.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
But the Patriots would have to play an absolute perfect game, essentially, and they would have to get up quick on Bo Nix and make it impossible for Bo Nix to do heroics late in the game like he does.
Yeah,
but I agree. Buffalo is the one team for sure that I think can go on a run here.
It's crazy. They're the 6th seed. That's one thing I can't wrap my head around.
I mean, they're not out of the division race. They're 1 game behind New England.
Yeah.
But New England's got a cupcake schedule coming up. I mean, they have a game against you guys. But after you guys, I don't think it's much of a challenge after you guys.
Right.
So, yeah, Buffalo's they're going to be in a little bit of a predicament. I mean, they have all the pressure on them because none of Josh Allen's demons are going to be in the playoffs.
The juggernauts are gone.
Joe Burrow. There is no Kansas City Chiefs. He's not going to have to deal with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. And yet he's going to be trying to do this all out from, the road essentially, unless they can somehow manage to sneak the division. Yeah, it's a brutal spot to be in for him. But I mean, dude, if there was any time for him to at least make the Super Bowl, it has to be this year.
It's got to be, yeah.
And on the NFC side, I mean, with Green Bay losing Micah Parsons,
that really sucked.
Yeah, because he was on a tear. He was on a tear here.
Yeah,
and for him to just pop his ACL just like that, same night that Mahomes does, it
was a bad night.
Yeah, it was not a great night, man. And they have, we get to see this exact matchup, on Saturday.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Green Bay is going to Chicago, so we get to get a little preview of what this would look like should this happen in the playoffs, and should Chicago win the division and Green Bay, lose out. But it looks like Watson's going to be able to play. It looks like he's really pushing to play on Saturday. But yeah, obviously losing Micah Parsons is brutal. And I just think LA's dealing with some injuries too. Puka Nakua's got a little, he's a little dinged up. Devontae Adams is injured. And again, none of us are talking about San Francisco.
Yeah, because they've been an under the radar team all season.
And that's what's scaring me is that nobody's talking about them. And then Philly just blew out the Ravens. Congratulations, everybody for the most part blows them out. But man, am I just not impressed by this team?
Not this year. No, not this year. It's not like it was last year where they ran down everybody.
I don't think Philly makes it back to the Super Bowl.
I don't either.
No,
I think this is LA's to lose.
Yep, I agree with you.
And I'm not actually worried about Tampa.
No, they've stunk recently.
Yeah,
I'm worried about Tampa. I mean, they started off hot, then they dealt with all those injuries, but since then it hasn't looked good. And losing that game to Atlanta the way they did
was bad.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Tampa's got a problem. I don't really know what, but
I don't trust them right now. I simply don't trust them.
I know.
Yeah. And Seattle also. Seattle kind of lost a lot of momentum. Sure, they still beat the Colts, but dude, you guys struggled to beat a 44-year-old quarterback who hasn't played in 5 years.
I think Seattle's one of those teams where they also, like the Broncos, play down to their competition that I've seen.
That's fair.
And that was painfully obvious on Sunday. I'm like, what are they doing? This game should not be close, but they certainly kept it interesting, I guess.
I mean, they barely won it, but
Yeah. It was
a win is a win.
A win is a win in the NFL. That's so true.
All right, let's move this show on the road. Coming up, the home team report. We have a lot to get to. Obviously, the Ravens with a win, the Commanders with a win, and the Kansas City Chiefs. We mourn the loss of their playoff.
Carlos does. I do not. But yes, that is correct.
All right.
We'll take a quick break.
Hey, I got to get the little victories.
This holiday season, step into the magic of walking in a winter wonderland at Clearbrook Park. Presented by Finch Oral and Facial Surgery. Celebrate 25 years of sparkling tradition as you stroll a half-mile of beautifully illuminated pathways where twinkling lights dance to festive music and memories shine bright. Create new traditions, capture the wonder. Walking in a Winter Wonderland opens November 28th through January 1st. Order your tickets now at fcprd.net.
For sports fans living in condominium and homeowners associations, as well as business professionals, when you need a reserve study, PM Plus Reserves has been in business since 1990. Their studies are accurate and easy to understand. Check them out when your association needs a study. www.pmplusreserves.com. You can also contact them at 703-803-8436. Once again, www.pmplusreserves.com. Is it finally time to upgrade your home's interior? How about with an authentic farm table made locally from recycled barnwood? Shenandoah Primitives, based right here in Winchester, Virginia, makes farm tables, benches, tables, coffee tables, and a long list of other items for your home decorating needs. At Shenandoah Primitives, function and style are combined for great furniture that will last generations. If you're interested in combining the industrial look of metal with wood, or considering something incredibly unique with a live edge, Shenandoah Primitives turns those ideas into reality. Thinking about a mirror, wine rack, or other accent piece for your home, Shenandoah Primitives can assist with that as well. As a local small business, Shenandoah Primitives is happy to work with each client for a custom design or schedule an appointment to come out and view current inventory. Local, high-quality, handmade items can be found at Shenandoah Primitives. Find us on Facebook and Instagram or visit us at www.shenandoahprimitives.com. Once again, that's www.shenandoahprimitives.com. And we welcome you back to episode 240 of the Kirby on Sports podcast with the weapon Dan Dembski and the Swiss Army knife Carlos Martinez. I am Josh Kirby, getting into the thick of things, the home team report. In Carlos requested, we start off with the Chargers victory over the Kansas City Chiefs 16-13. A lot happened in this game, obviously, but the biggest headline, Patrick Mahomes out for the season, and the Kansas City Chiefs have been eliminated from playoff contention. Not words coming out of my mouth that I thought I would be saying on this podcast this season. But again, it goes to how crazy this NFL season has been with just the amount of shakeup, and teams who we thought would be good are not that really good anymore. So it's just crazy to think. And Carlos, my condolences to you. I know you probably took this one hard, but I guess we'll just give you the floor.
Dearly beloved, We are gathered here today to mourn the passing of the 2025 Kansas City Chiefs. A season that began with expectations, with belief, with the quiet confidence that somehow it would all work out. Because it usually does. This was not a perfect team. We knew that. They were flawed, inconsistent, sometimes confusing, but they were alive. As long as number 15 was under center, there was hope. You said, just get in. Just give him a chance. Because that's all he's ever needed. And then he went down. Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL. And in that moment, this season didn't fade away. It ended. Not with drama, not with a final stand. It simply stopped. Patrick Mahomes is more than a quarterback. He is the safety net. The reason doubt never fully settles in. The reason December still feels meaningful. And when he was lost, so was everything else. After that, elimination was only a formality. The standings didn't matter. The math didn't matter. The truth had already been revealed. There would be no miracle. Being eliminated with 3 weeks left hurts. But losing Mahomes means something worse. It means meaningless football in December. Games without belief, without stakes, without hope. Dynasties do not always end with explosions. They end quietly, with injuries, with reality, with your franchise quarterback on the sideline, and the rest of the season continuing without him. So today we do not just mourn a team, we mourn a season that never received its chance. We say goodbye to the 2025 Kansas City Chiefs, not because they failed, but because they were finished the moment 15 went down. May they rest in peace, and may we all be reminded how fragile greatness truly is. Amen. Oh, so beautifully said by one the Swiss Army knife.
That was a work of art. It really was.
Work of art. Had to throw in there. I'm still a 4-time loser.
Yeah, I did. I just had to throw a little comment.
I love that
man.
little message at the end.
I knew you boys would love that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, look, it's sad, obviously heartbroken that, Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL and his LCL.
Yeah.
But they got the surgery done relatively quick, and he's already, beginning the rehab process. So timetable's looking like it's going to be 9 months, but obviously it's tough to tell right now, because he could be done a month earlier than that, or he could be done 2 months after, September.
Yeah, true.
Either way, I'm not expecting him to be ready for the beginning of the season. I think he might be out. I don't think he'll start the season. I think he'll start maybe 2 weeks into the season. I don't know. But yeah, it was just the same old. I mean, the play calling was terrible. The defense did what they could, and I mean they were in the game. It's just the offense couldn't get going, and it doesn't help that we have all those injuries on the line, and Patrick just didn't have time, and these receivers were also not getting open, and we're not getting anything from the running game, and it was just more of the same that we had seen from them this season. And just, it's, now it's officially over. They're mathematically eliminated, and it's really sad because now we have a Christmas game coming up, and we don't have
nothing to play for.
There's no part of me that wants to watch Gardner Minshew against the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
On Christmas. Yeah. So look, there's going to be a lot of changes that need to happen. Most importantly, I think because of the fact that Mahomes might not be ready for the beginning of the season, I think this gives the Chiefs the excuse to finally just blow it up and clean house and start building the new incarnation of the Kansas City Chiefs in terms of player-wise, player-wise. Coaching, I don't necessarily know if you get rid of Andy Reid. I don't think you do. I don't think you should.
No.
But something you do have to keep in mind is Andy Reid just turned 68 years old. And the oldest the oldest coach to ever win a Super Bowl was Bruce Arians, and he was 68. So how much longer is Andy Reid going to really be able to do this? I don't know. Nobody older than him currently has ever won a Super Bowl. I think they definitely have to move on from Matt Nagy. Either I've said this week after week, either get Bieniemy back, go get Mike Kafka, or go get somebody from outside of Andy Reid's system who's going to be able to push back. Go get the passing game coordinator from the Rams. You know, he's doing like 60% run, 40% passing plays, you know, in his, you know, game plans for the Rams. I mean, it breaks my heart, and I talked about this before. I think we're going to have to trade Trent McDuffie because I think we need picks. And we saw what the Colts paid for Sauce Gardner, so we could maybe get a deal like that from somebody for Trent McDuffie. And then you pay Jalen Watson because he'll be cheaper. You figure out what's going on with Travis. I don't know. It sounded like on his podcast that he's leaning towards retirement. Then again, he's also not under contract with the Chiefs next season. So
It'll be interesting.
There might be a reason why he's saying Chiefs instead of we. It's because he's like, dude, I don't know if I'm coming back. Because even if he decides not to retire, he doesn't know if he's even going to get a new contract from the Kansas City Chiefs. You would think they would.
Well, you know, maybe the Commanders can pick him up.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he totally.
Zach Ertz didn't pan out, so you might as well.
Totally. He wants, yeah. I think if he's not playing for the Chiefs, I don't think he's playing anymore.
No, I think he's going to retire.
Unless he's going to Cleveland because he's always wanted to play for the Cleveland Browns.
That's so crazy.
Well,
I know that's his hometown team, right?
Yeah, hometown team. So, but I don't even think for that. I think if he's not playing in Kansas City, he's not playing.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, they need to get a running back. They need help on the defensive line. They're going to need help in the secondary if they do trade McDuffie. So there's a lot of things that they got to fix. You know, they probably are going to need a right tackle because we're probably going to move on from Juwan Taylor. So there's a lot that needs to be fixed on this team, and they don't necessarily have the draft capital to do it. They will have the cap space. I know the number out there is they're $40 million over the cap, but with certain things to move on, you know, to move around, they can get under the cap pretty comfortably. It's just more so who can they even go get? Who do they want to go get? But, you know, we need young players who are going to be here for the long run. And we only have 6 picks in this draft, and they end by the 5th round. And we're going to get a decent draft pick this year in the 1st round, finally. But we can get more if we trade away certain assets and try to rebuild this in a different image. So there's a lot that needs to be changed. It turns out the Kansas City Chiefs were secretly having, you know, the season from hell, and it's been, you know, solidified with losing Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much more to say. It was just another frustrating game. But I think this organization is hopefully smart enough to see that like things can't continue the way they have been. And it was always hard to just blow it up after going to Super Bowls and getting to AFC Champ, because it's like, hey, like we're still succeeding. Like, why do we need to blow this up?
But it happens
now that
more
you
often
see
than
that,
not.
like it's finally caught up to you.
Yeah.
You need to change it up. It's New England had to go through it. We have to go through it if this dynasty is to continue. Anybody saying that the dynasty is over are fools, because like, again, the Patriots went 10 years without winning a Super Bowl, and they went to 2 and they lost those 2. Like it's not dead. It won't be dead until we see like consistent missing of the playoffs. But yeah, obviously it sucked seeing Patrick go down. He's obviously one of my favorite players. And I just hope that, rehab goes well and he gets back on the field soon, because this team is really nothing without him, to be honest.
Well, and he's still the face of the league too. Like, let's be honest. So, like, without him out there, that also hurts the product as well, because people love to hate him, and also hate to love him. So it's one of those situations where people watch for both reasons, for sure, when he's out there. So, yeah, that was a brutal ending to that game. And I think when you talked about the game, Carlos, you were right. The defense played pretty well, honestly, for the most part, kept the Chargers in check, but the offense was just nothing worked in this game, and it was tough. It was tough to watch and surprising to watch. It's been surprising to watch this team all season, because they just have not figured it out in any game really this year, except when they played the Ravens. They haven't really figured it out against many teams this year. Yeah, it was a brutal ending for their season. I'm not going to make predictions on whether the dynasty is over or not, because I think that's silly to say one way or the other. Because also, like, I know you're talking about New England, but that doesn't happen more than once every 100 years. So I mean, I don't know if they can have the kind of run that New England did, where they can have two separate, technically, dynasties. It's possible, like you said.
If you go 10, the only reason why it's considered 2 is because they went the 10 years.
Right.
I don't think Mahomes is going 10 years without another Super Bowl. I just don't. I think
no.
Now, whether we get back to this consistency that he's had in this first part of his career of going to less than the AFC Championship game, no, I don't think that's going to be the norm going forward.
Right, you're not going to be in it every year.
I do expect him to win at least 2 more Super Bowls before he calls it a career.
Yeah, I don't know. You just can't predict it.
You can't, obviously, but that's my expectation. I think he's going to get at least 2 more here, at some time here in the future before he calls it quits. I don't think he will ever reach Brady, just because.
No, he won't.
I don't think he plays till he's 45.
No.
I don't. I think
no one does.
I think he retires at 40.
Right.
Brady had to go longer to get to 7.
Brady's a freak, man. There's just no one like him. There's no one else in NFL history like Tom Brady. So it's impossible to compare anybody else to him. So, but yeah, that's really all I have. I think you covered it well, Carlos. And yeah, I'm interested to see how this offseason goes, because normally we're not even thinking about what Kansas City's going to do in the draft, what they're going to do in the offseason to sort of retool and rebuild. But I mean, you're exactly right. This team has to get younger, and they're an older roster right now, and they have to sort of figure this thing out. And if they want to right the ship next year and get back into the thick of things, which I think if they go back the right way, they certainly could do. But this season has just been so weird, and I think this, as Kirby said at the top, and as we've said over and over, this is just like the cherry on top of the odd season, like the way this game happened, the way it ended, obviously, and just the way things have gone for the Chiefs this season. So, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about, but
yeah, it's brutal. But I mean,
it's life, though, man.
Look, am I devastated? Yes. Is it going to suck that we're going to go into the playoffs and we still have the possibility of none of our teams being in this? Yeah, it's going to suck.
My team's the only one that
your team still is
technically been eliminated, but I don't know.
It's still
I'm not confident in them.
Up in the air.
Yeah.
But oof. Yeah, it's man, yeah, it's brutal, but at least I can say hey, I got 3 Super Bowls. It's okay if we have a season like this. I just don't want
most franchises have seen. Period.
Yeah.
Right. So
it's I just don't want it to go back to the way it was before Andy Reid got there. And that's why, the fans out there that are calling for Andy Reid to get fired, they don't remember what Kansas City was like before Kansas City was Kansas City. Kansas City before was a place where players went to die.
They were a subpar team, yeah.
Yeah, they were not a marquee team the way they are now.
Yeah, pretty much.
And getting rid of him just because of one bad season when he's had, again, they've been to the playoffs every year since 2014. That wasn't the norm before he got
so crazy.
Here.
Yeah.
So every anybody calling for Andy Reid to be fired is just not a serious person, in my
No.
opinion. They just don't, they don't get it. And
They don't know ball. Let's just say
yeah,
what it is.
look, if this continues, obviously, like if he puts up another bad season next year, I think you can maybe excuse it depending on how Mahomes comes out. And you have to give him a little leeway because it
Coming off a
usually
major
takes a guy
injury.
a year to get back into it
Yeah.
after that kind of injury.
Exactly.
So he might not even look the same next year, Mahomes. So like I don't know how much you can put him on that, and then. But like if it persists, right? If the team still looks lackluster and it's just nothing is working, nothing is changing, he's like being stubborn, then yeah, eventually you will have to move on from Andy Reid. And
Right.
he might retire before that anyways. Like I said,
Yeah.
he's 58 years old.
Yeah.
He doesn't have many years left coaching as it is.
He's done it all as a coach too. Like there's really nothing else for him to prove.
Yeah, I mean
He's not going to catch Belichick.
He's gotten his
probably.
Super Bowls. He's had his dynasty.
Yeah.
He retires today, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
But
first ballot.
Yeah, I think anybody that says Andy Reid needs to be fired is an unserious person. I don't want to get rid of Spags. I think if we can get Spags more dogs, because that's the point I wanted to hit here, is this team, you said this team needs to get younger. They also got to get hungrier. Too many players on this team have obviously experienced the success, and they're not hungry like they were before.
Yeah,
and
years
so
ago, even
we need some dogs on here. We need some guys that are like, yeah, I'm joining this franchise, but I'm not part of that, of that dynasty.
Right.
I want to make my own mark.
Right.
And we need those types of guys who are like, those Kansas City Chiefs are not me on the Kansas City Chiefs. So I need to make my name on the Kansas City Chiefs. We need those kinds of people. And you only get that if you get younger players who haven't succeeded in anything yet. So,
True.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously have a whole off season to talk about all this stuff, but
yes,
I guess my thoughts are, heartbroken, hoping Patrick recovers, quickly and speedy. I guess quickly and speedy are the same word, but quickly and well, I guess. And we'll see him again next season. And I guess for now, I got to root for Gardner frickin' Minshew. So
it's tough. Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for Andy Reid, and I don't think it would ever, because of how late he is in his career, we don't know how many more years he'll be going for. I feel like if it gets to a point, and I'm not saying that point's now, instead of firing, they'll just let him retire or something of that nature.
Yeah.
Do it with respect and dignity instead of just firing him, because do we think he's going anywhere else if he were to get fired? No, I don't think so.
No, at his age, I don't think he.
I don't know many organizations that are looking at a almost 70-year-old man.
Yeah.
I mean, Bill Belichick was available, and no team for him.
No one even did.
And he's the greatest coach of all time.
Right.
And obviously, we know what's going on in North Carolina. But this one has
another story for another day, another podcast.
Yeah, but I don't. Andy, I think Kansas City is where it's going to end for him in terms of. I think, if anything, he'll retire more so than he gets fired.
Yeah. But the
overall point is 2 out of 3 are in Cancun. My team could be joining you all soon as well. Could be 3.
Like, how are we going to do? I mean, like, obviously we just talk about all the playoffs games, but it's going to be really hard to be that invested because we're not going to have any of our teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be really bizarre.
I mean, my gosh, I was just talking to my little sister and her boyfriend just now, or not just now, like a while ago. And we were like, it sucks. Like, we're not going to be able to have a Super Bowl party for the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, we're not going to be that invested in the Super Bowl. But obviously, we still have to have one because we got to support Bad Bunny. So,
totally, yeah.
Yeah, we were mentioning Andy Reid and his age too, and we just the
who's we in this scenario? Like just now?
Yeah, you mentioned Andy
Okay,
Reid. He's 68 years old.
You were confused. I thought you were saying like you were like having this conversation with somebody else.
Yeah,
about
we were
No, 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 no,
backtracking
no.
or something.
No.
Yeah.
No, so just when you mentioned 68 years old,
Mhm.
Carlos, and you know, it's crazy to think the age of head coaches and just in general, seeing the oldest head coach in this league is Pete Carroll at 74 years old. That's just crazy to me that there are people who are, you know, still in it at such an old age, you know.
But it's rare, right? Like
Mhm.
a guy like Pete Carroll is like to coach
And
that
Pete
long.
Carroll
is
might not
gonna
even be
happen.
around. He might get fired. I don't think the Raiders are going to fire him. But
No, I think they're a dumpster. I mean, they were dumpster fire when he got there.
I don't
he
think
gets
they're
the
going to
benefit of the
fire him
doubt
for
this
the sole
year.
reason of they don't
This
want to be
year.
paying another. I mean, they're already paying Josh McDaniels, John Gruden,
Right.
Antonio Pierce. Now
Right.
they're going to have to pay Pete Carroll and the new. That's going to be 5 coaches that you're going to be paying.
It's a graveyard full of coaches that they have to pay.
Yeah, you can't do that. So I think
No.
Pete Carroll is probably going to stay. They're the only team that's looking like they're going to need a quarterback in like the first like 10 picks. So
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
they're about to get Mendoza.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. When we return, we will continue with the home team report, talk about the Commanders' win over the New York Giants. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hey there, Kirby on Sports Podcast fans. Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate here for you. Remember, if you have any real estate needs, buying or selling, I'm your guy. I would love to help you out. And you can also find me on my own personal podcast, Iconic Talk, where you get a chance to learn about the local real estate market and why Winchester is an amazing place to live. Reach out to me anytime, 540-247-1527, and find Iconic Talk anywhere you get your podcasts.
Bedbugs. The only thing creepier than thinking about them is actually having them. Trust me, you don't want to have them. Locally owned and operated Barrett Pest and Termite Services can keep you from having bedbug nightmares and infestations. Call 540-340-3922 to schedule your free inspection and consultation. If bedbugs are already in your home, we'll get rid of them so you can rest easy. We also specialize in keeping homes and businesses free of other pests, including rodents and termites. That's Barrett Pest and Termite Services, 540-340-3922.
And we welcome you back to episode 240 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. For the weapon, Dan Dembski, and the Swiss Army knife, Carlos Martinez. I am Josh Kirby. So glad you're with us. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here on the Kirby on Sports podcast.
Carlos.
Getting you set.
What? It's Christmas, guys. Nobody's bringing that Christmas energy on this podcast, so I might as well do it. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to sing.
But I'm way ahead of you, Carlos.
Are you? Who's wearing the Santa hat?
Huh?
Who's wearing the Santa hat?
He's got you there. He's got you there.
Who's bringing the Christmas energy, baby?
Hey, who drank 2 cups of eggnog before joining this podcast today?
I'm not impressed.
Okay.
You got to drink a gallon
Eggnog?
for us to be impressed.
Eggnog, baby.
You like drinking freaking pancake batter? What is wrong with you?
Dude, eggnog's the bomb. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not an eggnog fan either, Carlos.
Are you kidding me? Eggnog's amazing.
I can't say what I would rather drink. This is a family show.
It's a family program. That is
But
correct.
yeah, you know what? That makes sense that you like eggnog. You know, it actually tracks.
Josh Eggnog Kirby is his secondary
Josh,
nickname.
the swagger jacker eggnog loving Kirby.
All right, Cowboys fan. What did you think about the Commanders
biggest
game?
Cowboys fan on this podcast, Josh Kirby.
Woo. Let's go, boys.
Boys, breaking news. The Commanders break an 8-game winning streak. 29-21 over the New York Giants in a game where the Commanders were able to establish the running game. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, 96 yards and a touchdown, aka Bill. The production of the running game really impressed me in this matchup. And defensively, Jackson Dart did throw an interception, but defensively, Washington was able to create pressure as needed. I don't really think Jackson Dart that is that good of a quarterback, in my opinion. It's just
L take.
There's nothing around him. There's nothing around him, so it's hard to see.
That's such a bad take right there.
Well, I mean,
I can't take your opinion on quarterbacking seriously,
Yeah, as a
considering what
Commanders
you
fan.
have thought was a good quarterback.
Right.
well, you could be
My
right
God,
there.
you were riding Sam Howell's nuts for like that whole season. Like,
Thank you,
oh,
Carlos.
Look, he's the leading in passing yards. Does that not make him a great like Tom Brady?
Forgot about this conversation like 2 years ago.
Man,
I can't take
a
your
blast from the past.
You have lost credibility. You lost all your credibility when you
Well,
made that argument.
Dan has a good point. There's maybe not a lot of around him.
Yeah, no, duh. He lost
stink.
Credibu. They don't have their number one guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They don't have their go-to guy.
They don't
Also,
even
like-
have like a solid coach, like coaching staff around. I mean, they're working with Kafka, but like that coaching staff is in shambles considering that they lost the head guy in Dable.
And their receiving core sucks, quite
Yeah.
frankly.
I mean, they were able to make good things happen. The Washington defense did.
Well, they
falter at
make
times.
every quarterback look good. Let's be
Yeah.
real. Yeah.
But it came down towards the end. Washington turned the ball over twice, and I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
I wish we could put the text up. You thought the game was over at that point. You thought the Commanders had blown it.
Well, I was like, and Dan.
Conspiracy theorist Kirby over here.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying it felt like
tinfoil
maybe. Yeah, I was just like, oh no, this is the perfect scenario. They turn the ball over twice, the Giants take the lead, and the Commanders get a better draft pick. But obviously, you're not. A team's never going to be in it to tank. But the outsiders.
That's what I
looking
said.
in.
That's what
Yeah.
I said.
I know. Yeah.
He's stealing takes again, Carlos.
He steals gimmicks, he steals catchphrases, he steals takes. I mean, what?
But, I mean,
This man's a robber.
Kirby original here.
He's a robber.
Listen. I watched this game. I was just watching.
Yeah, you know,
I mean, it's just
Kirby. The season's
Four and
over, so it's like you don't have to explain yourself. We know this.
Yeah.
I just sit
This-
back and
no,
watch.
The way you are watching the Commanders is how I will be watching the Chiefs. I'm just going to watch at this point because there's nothing for me to really cheer for.
Right.
Okay, we win a couple games here and there, cool. But at the end of the day, what's the point of winning? We're not going anywhere.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Good on 3, boys.
There you go. But
Well, Dan is still in it, but
overall, this
Hanging on by a thread.
was a, let's call it a loser's bowl. It was just
Yep. That's what everyone called it.
that
leading
type of
up.
game.
Yeah,
That
leading
type
up to
of
this.
game. So, the
I gotta
big
give
news.
Some credit to Marcus Mariota. He's played decently
well,
for the
he's
most
their
part.
quarterback from here for the rest of the season since they've
Jaden
officially
Daniels
shut Jaden
is shut
Daniels
down.
Exactly.
I like it. I like the.
I like
move.
it too. I don't hate this decision.
Makes perfect
Jaden
sense to me.
Daniels shut down. They need to protect their asset that they drafted last
Here he goes
year.
again.
A quarterback that
Asset.
took the Commanders
Oh
to
my
the
God.
NFC Championship game. Obviously,
You'll be talking about that 50 years from now because they're not going back
sustained
there.
Success is
Just, you
so
know.
hard to reach, as you both said.
Yeah, it is.
So you just have to protect.
Maybe
your
for y'all.
So-
Maybe for y'all.
It's hard for us to win a playoff game. So yeah.
You know, it's maybe for you guys. I mean, we just went 8 straight seasons. You know,
Nah, you're in Cancun this year though, so we can
it's
talk about
fine.
your
Look, we
team.
need a vacation too. You know,
Yeah.
we gotta let somebody win. Somebody else win eventually. We gotta let y'all think that you have a chance. Look, we're
But the
so back. We're
protection,
so back. We're so back.
the protection of the investment is what I like.
Kirby, you keep like hitting these same points over and over whenever I bring up Jaden Daniels. It's like I'm listening. Like, am I in like
A record,
the
a record, a
the
broken
quantum
record.
zone or something like that?
Maybe.
What is it?
But that's all I have. I don't really have much more to add besides that. But the Giants, they're just something else. Because the amount of injuries that the Commanders have had and how bad the defense has been the past couple of weeks, the Commanders to win 29-21. I expected it to be close, but the Giants could have had every opportunity to win. And Yeah, it's the Giants.
But they ran the football, like you said. Like that was the key for the Commanders in this game, was to take the pressure off of Marcus Mariota, so it doesn't have to be.
Which they did a really good job
Superman.
of too.
Exactly. The Giants' defense is not good, so it's neither is the Commanders. But that's neither here nor there.
Well, that's all I got. Do you have anything to add, Carlos, over this Losers Bowl?
Nope.
All right, we'll take another break. When we return, we are on to the Ravens shutting out the Cincinnati Bengals in a game that Dan was very excited about.
The Cider House is now open on East Piccadilly Street in downtown Winchester. The Cider House is open starting at noon Wednesday to Sunday. Stop in for a wide variety of ciders on draft, as well as 4 Virginia beers, wine, and ready-to-drink canned cocktails. Don't miss our lunch specials featuring our house salad. We also have dinner specials too. Stop in today at the Cider House, located on Piccadilly Street in downtown Winchester.
It's Jason, General Manager at Shenandoah Music, here to tell you all about...
Jay, what are you doing here?
Well, Matt, I'm trying to tell the people about our selection of guitars, basses, keyboards, drum sets.
I know that, but I always do the radio spots.
You get to have all the fun. I want to tell everyone about our huge selection, unbeatable prices, unmatched service, and in-depth knowledge.
Jay, I really don't think now is the time to discuss.
So remember, folks, when you think music, think Shenandoah Music in Winchester.
That's my line.
And we welcome you back, episode 240 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. The Weapon Dan Dembski and the Swiss Army Knife Carlos Martinez joining me. It's now time to talk about the Baltimore Ravens. I'll be honest, Dan, you can shoot me now if you'd like.
Hey,
Whoa.
There's no need for that. So now we've had 2 weeks in a row with an unhinged comment from
Like, my
different
God,
people.
last week it was Dan saying deportation. Now you're talking about shootings. Like, okay,
we got issues we need to address.
We gotta press the brakes here.
Okay, Dan, punch me in the face.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, punch me in the face if you like. But I didn't really expect this being the last time Cincinnati and Baltimore
Punch you in
played.
the face for that.
But a 24-0 win, I was like, man, the Ravens are like, here we go.
That's a little. Yeah, this
shutout. I didn't really get a chance to watch a lot of it, but I saw highlights, and I mean that was a really good win in shutout fashion against a division opponent.
Well, it's funny that just a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when these teams played, maybe longer, when these teams played last, the Ravens defense got no pressure on Joe Burrow at all. His first game back after injury, none. I mean, literally, I think he had 10 seconds to throw every time he dropped back. The key in this game was the Ravens, for maybe the first time all season, finally got pressure on the quarterback early in the game. They hit Joe Burrow. They hit him early and often. 10 quarterback hits in this game for this defense that really has not had that since last year. And I've said it about this defense, maybe not on this podcast, but in other avenues, that they, to me, this year have just been it hasn't been the Ravens, right? Like when you think about the Ravens in the past, obviously the history of the franchise, great defense comes to mind, good tackling.
No, we've said this on the show.
Yeah. And in this game, they got all of those things. And that, to me, is the difference in this game because it takes the pressure off the offense. Lamar Jackson only has to throw it 12 times, and it just makes things way easier for the running game. Everything just felt easy in this game, quite frankly. Of course, the icing
had a lateral pick six.
And a lateral pick six. That's what I was going to say. Like
That
Kyle
Kirby
Van
lost
Noy
his mind on.
Kyle Van Noy picks it off and just does the little handoff to Alani Gilman. He takes it the rest of the way, and that was the icing on top of the cake for this game.
So, can I ask a dumb question?
Aren't all your questions?
Carlos, that's me.
No,
go for it.
So I was looking at the live look-in, like the what is it? The update
when they cut in.
The cut-ins, yeah. I couldn't find the word.
Whatever. We know.
They
score breaks or whatever.
Yeah. So they put up their Alani Gilman had the pick six. Does Van Noy just not get any credit at all for handing the ball off on an interception like that?
So Van Noy gets the credit for the pick since he's the one who picked it off, but Gilman gets the credit for the touchdown because he was given the ball. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
weird the way
because
they
It's
split.
like
because he runs it up.
Kirby. It's like a couple years ago when the Chiefs played the Bills and Travis Kelce did that lateral pass to Kadarius Toney that was called off for offsides. Kadarius Toney was going to get credited for the touchdown,
Right.
but Travis Kelce was going to get the catch.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's really it. The running game got going in this game. Usually when Derrick Henry has 100 yards, they win. Obviously, that hasn't been the case this season at times, but he looked pretty good. And the thing that was most impressive for me with Derrick Henry is that this was one of the first games he kind of got going late in the game, like third quarter, fourth quarter, when you need the running game to really, like, put the game out of reach, put the game away. He was able to help them do that. This is a nice confidence-boosting win. Obviously, again, we know what the Bengals did to us just a few weeks ago. We kind of kept that, I think, in the back of our minds and definitely had some pissed-off energy, I think, in this game that was pretty apparent early on. But, yeah, I didn't expect Tavius Robinson and Draymond Jones to have such good games for the Ravens. I had to double-check who these guys were, to be honest, because I hadn't seen them in so long. I'm like, oh, who are these dudes rushing the quarterback and hitting Burrow so often in this game? But, yeah, the Ravens' defense, I mean, it was kind of a throwback performance for them. And then the offense, it just felt easy, right? Like it wasn't that much of a challenge, which was nice to see. Nice to see Lamar getting even more comfortable being mobile. Obviously, he's been holding back a lot with his various injuries he's had throughout this season, especially leg injuries, ankle injuries, things like that, a toe injury. I think he's a toe injury. Anyway, at one point, it feels like he did. But yeah, this was a nice confidence boosting win. Obviously, you have a very tough stretch coming up. Obviously, we have New England this weekend. That's not going to be easy, and every game's a playoff game, right? Every game is like the AFC Championship game for them for here on out.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Remember what happened last time they were there.
Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Shut up, Carlos.
We're so back. We are so back.
Go talk to your skeleton. But
hey, he's waving.
I just noticed that. That's cool. But I think this was a win they needed. They needed a blowout win because they haven't had that this season, except for maybe when they played Miami. Like, I don't know how long ago that was now, like week 7 or 8. But yeah, good win for the Ravens. Nice confidence booster. Always feels good to dethrone a team in the division and a team that has won the division. I think besides them most recently, I believe. I think the Bengals were the last team besides the Ravens to win the division. I could be wrong there. 4 years ago? Yeah, because they've won it 3 years in a row, so the Ravens. So it felt, all that stuff felt good for sure. That's really all I got. This was a pretty laid back game for me. I enjoyed it. It was the first time I've enjoyed a game this season, I think, where I wasn't stressed out. So it's always a good feeling as well.
Was it the Bengals?
I think so.
It the Steelers?
I'm going to check.
The Ravens, 7-7. My question out of this game, does this continue to fuel them to continue this success, keep on stacking wins, and do something improbable in clinch a playoff spot? I think that's going to be huge to see if that's possible. I know it's a stretch, but wouldn't that be pretty cool?
Yeah, and I think the key is like Lamar's health. Like I think he's getting healthier. Like you can just see it. And I think if that's the case, I think they can beat anybody. The key for me is like which offensive line shows up, because that to me is going to be the determining factor on the rest of the game, right? The rest of the game plan. And the offensive line still had its issues on Sunday. Don't get me wrong. But that to me is going to be how this team goes from here on out. I think they could do it. Now a playoff run. I don't think they're built for a playoff run. Not this year. They're not this year. They've had too many injuries, too many issues throughout the season that they need to address this offseason. I don't see that happening this year.
I don't
especially
want
just the
you know
way
what
it's shaped up.
I don't want you guys to make the playoffs for the sole reason of they will then use that as the excuse to keep Harbaugh.
Yep, I agree with you completely. Because he's lost the locker room like a while ago, so that's got to change. But to your original question, I think they can make the playoffs. I think they're gonna split. I think they're gonna have to win two. They're obviously gonna have to beat Pittsburgh. Like that's a requirement. Like we know that. But I think they split the other two games. Whatever happens in those, but. They can make the playoffs. I just think it's a matter of playoff run. No, they're not. They're not built for that. Not this year. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love for them to go all the way, but I'm just not confident in this team right now that they can do that. But maybe they have a New York Giants type moment where they squeak into the playoffs and they're able to make some noise. I don't know. But I just don't see it with this team.
It was them. No,
yeah, it was Cincinnati.
It was Cincinnati. It was
Yep.
Cincinnati. It just came back to me. It was
12-4
Cincinnati.
that year. 2022.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it says, yeah.
You're right.
Anyway, that's all I got. And Joe
I
Burrow
don't really have much to add because
Joe Burrow was very cold in this game. Ooh.
During that game, I was obviously watching the Chiefs, and then obviously the Mahomes injury happened, so I was not focused on this game at all. But
100%.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that,
it's the most beautiful time of the year.
Yes, indeed, it is. Two beauties coming up in the next segment.
Oh, God. What the hell was that?
The overall beauty, it's the holiday season, the Christmas season, and we get into the best segment on this Good to Average podcast, the Kirby on Sports PickEm. That comes your way next. Are you looking to take the final steps in order to get your driver's license? Look no further. On the Road Driving School offers teen and adult driving, along with classroom sessions for teens and adults, DMV re-exam classes, and driver improvement classes. On the Road Driving School has what you need in order to get on the road. Contact them today at 540-869-6105. That's On the Road Driving School, 540-869-6105. On the Road Driving School will get you on the road. And got to give a big shout out to our other sponsors, New Look Landscaping. Contact them. They have snow removal needs for anything that pops up with any winter storms. Our good friends over at New Look Landscaping and Barry Pearson with Equipment Share Advanced Solutions. For any equipment rental needs, contact Barry Pearson for your equipment rental solutions with Equipment Share. We are back. Dan and Carlos, I am Josh. It is time for the best segment on this Good to Average podcast. Let's get this show on the road.
Never gets old.
He's run that tagline into the ground at this point. I said it a few times, and like the swagger. I mean that's the episode title, by the way. Swagger Jacker is the episode title. But I say it a few times, and then he steals it, and then
I thought we were sticking with it.
What?
I thought we were just going to stick with that. I thought it was good.
Yeah, because I was the one saying it. And then all of a sudden you've incorporated it into like 50 different segments.
This is an old school rag on Josh Kirby episode, I see.
Well, yeah, I guess we're just doing the Kirby on Sports Pick'em at this point.
Put it up. Interesting.
Fix it.
Interesting.
No, Kirby, fix it.
Fix what?
Put the order correct.
Put the order correct.
There we
go. The rightful spot.
No, I'm sorry about that.
Right where you belong, in the basement.
Yeah. Oh man, it's getting too bright out here, man.
Anyways, all right. Enough of the shenanigans. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Christmas edition. I didn't Christmassy up this graphic, and I'm actually upset at myself for it. Should have done it. Didn't do it. Didn't have time. I've been doing some stuff. But anywho, this is not enjoyable to look at. Take him off. So with that being said, here we are, week 16. Pick'ems. it was look. It has been brutal for us. We can't get a flow going.
Nope.
There's only one person who has been getting going, and yet, yeah, we're in trouble, boys. We're in trouble. But anyways, with that being said, here are the standings. I'm just not gonna say allegedly in first place anymore. I'm just gonna show you who's in first place. You guys already know. I've already told you guys. In first place is our secret picker at 58-31, going 5-1 for the week. Reminders: this person has no football knowledge, couldn't tell you what a first down is, has their own way of picking, and they are dominating us at the moment, 58-31. Despite having a generational Kirby level collapse since Thanksgiving, only going 4-14. 4-14. I've only gotten 4 games correct in the past 3 weeks. It's disgusting. I'm still in second place, I guess you could say, at 51-38. Kirby has made a miraculous bounce back and is now in third place at 50-39. And Dan is in the Kirby zone, but only 1 game out at 49-40.
And it's on there this week for me to get even. So.
No, there's only 1 game where you can tie.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because both you guys pick differently. We'll talk about it.
And then I have the secret pickers picks. There's only 1 game different for
really
for you, Dan. There's 1 game for me and Kirby. There's 2 games different with the secret picker.
Gotcha.
Anyways, before we go in, because I love to show how off we are this season. Last year, going into week 16, I was in first place at 64-26, dude. God. 13 games difference between me last year and me this year. Dan, this one's gonna really hurt. So Dan, you were in second place at 61-29. So therefore, that's a 12-game difference.
Wow.
And then Kirby was in last place at 60-30, so a 10-game difference. Again,
we've all stunk
is because we still have to deal with that tie situation where we lost a game compared to years prior. So we're 1 game off because of that as it is. And then you add all these losses that we keep occurring. Nobody can seem to get a good flow going. At least here in this later part of the season, nobody, because I feel like I started off the season pretty decent.
Yeah, you did.
And then just like these last 4 weeks, I don't know what's happened, or these last 3 weeks, I don't know what's happened. Just an epic collapse by me. 4-14. That is like my worst stretch ever.
Well, our records can't be that much better though.
But that's what I'm saying. Like none of us have been able to really catch. I mean,
to figure it out.
Dan, you bounced back pretty decently though, because you were down by a few games. Kirby also bounced back pretty decently, but still not enough to where you guys have been able to overtake me. And then this one just the secret picker just dominating us and being 7 games to the better of your champion is crazy work, but it's all right. It's okay. We got plenty of time. The only thing that concerns me is I've been in this situation before with Dan.
Yeah.
And the team that kept bringing me back was Kansas City, and I don't have Kansas City anymore. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways, so the games we will be picking this week are Seattle versus Los Angeles, which is having some travel issues. It looks like they've got it kind of figured out for the Rams. Chicago against Green Bay on Saturday night. Baltimore against New England. Denver against Jacksonville. Dallas against the Chargers. And Detroit against Pittsburgh. I will go first as always because I am your three-time Pick'em's champion. I will take the Los Angeles Rams over the Seattle Seahawks. Again, this one's a little more iffy just because LA isn't going to have Devontae Adams, and who knows how these travel issues are going to affect them, but I'm still going to go the Rams because I wasn't necessarily all that impressed with Seattle against the Colts. But like Dan said, Seattle does like to play up to the level of their competition. Although last time they played against each other, the Rams did, for the most part, they got 4 picks on Sam Darnold. So
yeah, true.
We'll see how this one goes. I will take Green Bay over Chicago. I was very wishy-washy on this one just
Same
because
here.
of the injuries, but it looks like Watson's going to try to tough it out. But them losing Micah really hurt my confidence in them beating Chicago. And, Chicago's going to want, they're going to want to get a win against LaFleur because of what Ben Johnson said. So don't color me surprised if Chicago somehow wins this game.
Yeah,
I'm going to take the Patriots over the Ravens, mostly because, I just think just comparatively, the Patriots have showed more consistency than the Ravens have.
Agreed.
So it's really hard for me to think that the Ravens can put 2 good games back to back together because they haven't done so yet. Well, kind of. But I think the level of competition is stepping up big here in this, these next 2 games for the Ravens. And, Dan said that he thinks they're going to split. I think they lose to the Patriots here. I'm going to take the Broncos over the Jaguars. This game's in Denver, and, Bo Nix plays very well there. And, I still can't trust Jacksonville, but, Jacksonville's probably going to win the division. So, early playoff matchup, maybe. We'll see. I'll take the Chargers over the Cowboys. The Chargers offense didn't necessarily light up the world against the Chiefs, but given how bad Dallas's defense is, and, Dallas's offense is kind of sputtering right now. Yeah, give me the Chargers because the Chargers actually have something to play for. Dallas doesn't really have anything to play for. And then I'll take the Lions over Pittsburgh. The Lions are in it's all hands on deck at this point because they're in a tough position. They are on the outside looking in. They're not, they're obviously not out of the playoffs, but they need to keep winning to keep their chances alive. So they have to beat Pittsburgh. And again, Pittsburgh just doesn't impress me, honestly. I'm not impressed by that team whatsoever. So with all that being said, I will now send it over to this podcast's favorite number 2, the Josh Allens to my Patrick Mahomes, Dan Dembski.
Thank you, Carlos, very much. So I will start by taking the Los Angeles Rams over the Seattle Seahawks. I said the CC Seahawks. Yeah, I think the Rams are just, quite frankly, the better football team right now. And to me, Seattle is, I don't know if I can fully trust them necessarily to get a win against an elite team like the Rams. They haven't really proven to me they can do that. So in that case, I will take the LA Rams. I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers over the Chicago Bears, partly because the Bears let me down a few weeks ago when I picked them against Green Bay, which was a great game, by the way. I think it's going to be another great game between these 2 teams. But I like Green Bay more in this matchup, quite frankly. I just do. And to me, they've been the more consistent team throughout this season that have won these types of games. Chicago has had a great season for sure, which is why when Carlos said they could pull it off, I certainly think that could go this way. But I'm not 100% confident in this game because I went back and forth like Carlos said. But I landed on the Green Bay Packers. I will take the Baltimore Ravens over the New England Patriots. I'm certainly not confident in this game. I'm contractually obligated, of course, to pick the Baltimore Ravens. If Ravens can pull this win off, I think it's pretty clear that they can be a playoff team. If they lose, obviously things get a little more complicated. So this is a must-win game for them at home in prime time. They've got to find a way to make it happen. So I think they do, and they are able to keep this magic going a little longer. I'm gonna pick the Denver Broncos over the Jacksonville Jaguars. I just think Denver simply is just the better team right now. Obviously, the number 1 seed. They certainly play up to their competition, and I think they will take care of Jacksonville. I think they win this game by 2 scores, quite frankly. I do. Watch me be completely wrong and it's the other way, but that's okay because that's how this season's been. But I have more confidence in the Broncos than the Jacksonville Jaguars for sure. I'm going to take the Los Angeles Chargers over the Dallas Cowboys. This is kind of the easiest pick I think in that we had this week. Chargers are just simply the better team. The Cowboys obviously have had a really tough season and are not great. So give me the Chargers. And then last but not least, I'm going to take the Detroit Lions over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number one, because I need the Lions to beat the Steelers. But I also just think as well that the Lions will find a way to win this football game. I think it's going to come down to a couple of those types of decisions from Dan Campbell that he likes to make, to go for it in certain situations, to go all in, if you will, with his chips. I think he will in this game, and that'll be the difference over the Pittsburgh Steelers. So with that, I will throw it to the host and founder of this, what is it? Good to average podcast, whatever the phrase is, Carlos.
Yep.
I jacked it. Now I'm jacking it. Josh Kirby, over to you.
Pause. Just pause.
Okay. Oh, damn. This is a family show.
Phrasing, Dan. Phrasing.
I'm tired, all right? It's been a long week.
Anyways. Sorry.
I get no sympathy from what I said last week, but this week, give me some sympathy.
All right. Thank you very much.
He didn't know what to say.
I don't know what I interrupted the.
No, I was just waiting for my cue to get in.
Well, that's what I was saying. I interrupted the flow, so Dan never said like.
Over to you,
Kirby.
All right,
Josh Kirby. Over to you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll take a look at these picks and see what we can do, each and every one of us. So
yeah, I mean, taking a look at these picks, we're all picking the same essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just
I'm
one game
picking the
different.
Rams because I think the Rams just. I know there are flight issues and Devontae Adams is out, but I think the Rams just have the upper hand. They still know how to win. I think they have a lot of playmakers to do it. The Packers over the Bears, I think they are still a very good team despite the loss against the Denver Broncos. I think the Packers get the job done. The Patriots over the Ravens, I think the Patriots bounce back big. Mike Vrabel has that team well coached, and I think they have a pretty good game against Baltimore. I'm picking Denver. I think they just have a little bit more juice than Jacksonville, and I think this could be a 2-score game in my opinion. I'll be taking the Chargers over the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys have let me down in the pick'ems too many times, and just the Cowboys, they don't have a chance.
Wait, wait, pause. You're supposed to pick the Cowboys. You're contractually obligated. You're the biggest Cowboys fan we know.
No.
Bro, you just want
I've
to be
given
Zayn Malik.
I have given them the
to be
benefit
there.
of the doubt because I think they look pretty good.
Sure.
Seriously,
Denial.
Was looking good.
Okay, look, I'm
just atrocious.
Okay. I've derailed this segment enough. Keep going. I'm sorry.
So I'm picking the Chargers because I've given the benefit of the doubt and thought, man, the Cowboys are going to pull this off. I think the Cowboys, but it never happened. So I'm picking the Chargers. And alluding to what Dan said, Motor City Dan Campbell does what he needs to do to win a football game, and I think that's the case against the Steelers team. The Lions do one or two more things better than the Steelers to get the victory. So with that, that is the Kirby on Sports PickEm with my picks.
That's the end of the segment.
Yes, that is the end of the segment. I just want to make sure there was nothing else to add.
I already touched on everything. So
it's been a tough year for all of us, obviously.
Stop.
That's
okay,
the overall theme for the
there
pick'ems this year.
All right, with that concludes episode 240 of the Kirby on Sports.
Okay, listen, boys. We need to have a pep talk here, though. All right, like seriously, we got to get our stuff together in these pick'ems. Yeah. We can't let this outsider beat us. All right, this is unacceptable. This is, I mean, I don't even care if it's me, if it's one of you boys who catches up to this said secret picker and beats them. We cannot let this person come on the Super Bowl pregame show with the belt and rub it in our faces that they beat us. All right. We can't let it happen. We will not allow it to happen. Let's go. Let's freaking go, boys. Cancun on 3.
Kirby, put your hand in. I'm not there yet.
Oh, I can't do it until Dan is there.
Yeah, maybe next week.
I can't do it until Dan is there.
All right. So a huge thanks to all of our sponsors: Frederick County Parks and Recreation, PM Plus Reserves, Shenandoah Primitives, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, Barrett, Pest and Termite Services, Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, Shenandoah Music, Icon Media, On the Road Driving School, New Look Landscaping, The Cider House, and Barry Pearson with Equipment Share Advanced Solutions. Don't forget Don't Sleep Energy, the official energy drink sponsor of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Use promo code KOS podcast for 12% off your order every single time. For Dan Carlos, I'm Josh. Check us out anywhere you get your podcast and YouTube.
You gave it away this year.
All right, Kirby, just finish.
Save me from tears.
We will end it with Carlos singing. It's Christmas carols. Yeah, it's the holiday season, so we'll keep you updated if we have an episode next week. We may be with you, but we will keep you updated on social medias. Thanks so much for tuning in once again, and we will catch you next time.